Unfiltered podcast, Monday. This is audio only, unfortunately. I can't do the show. I want to do Periscope in the car because I got a long day tomorrow. I can't do any podcasts tomorrow. I'm going to be out of town for the entire day. My wife and I are going to be going out of town, going to Disney World, just me and her alone, no kids. And unfortunately, I don't have the phone case holder, what to call it, to put in the car so I can record at the same time. And I have notes I want to use right now for the show. And because of the fact that I can't do, I have the one phone only, and I have the notes I want to use, it's impossible for me to do the show on Periscope and still check in my notes. Because I got a couple things I want to talk about today. Obviously, Week 10, almost in the books. My pathetic New York Giants are on Monday Night Football later tonight against the Niners, which I'll probably check the end of that game, most likely, because I'll be back home. I should be home for the kickoff for that game, but do I really want to watch that game, really, honestly? Not really. They suck, so... because I don't have the holder, I used to have one and I lost it. Can't find it. So, and I won't be home all day long, so I'm not going to do any podcast, but I want to get it in now while I can. Week 10 takeaways. A lot of takeaways today in the Week 10 I want to go over for starters. Also, my playoff 4 for Week 11 or Week 12, whatever, for college football. And Carmelo Anthony's days are apparently numbered in Houston. What in the hell? But let's go to the takeaways first. First things first. I went 2-1 against the spread this weekend, so another non-losing week this year. That makes only one I've had this year. That was 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, like I said, I thought Dallas would not show up tonight, or last night rather, against Philadelphia. They showed up, which I'll get to my takeaways about Philadelphia, because I think they're done as a Super Bowl contender. But also, I had a tie in the Colts game. Colts had the Jaguars at the rights, and the Jaguars made it interesting in the second half of the game. So they screwed me as well, too. The Patriots, they shit the bed today in Tennessee. I mean, I actually regret picking that game, because I thought that Tennessee would be a bit of a tough matchup, because they're very physical and whatnot. I didn't think they beat the living shit out of New England. I didn't see that coming. So, takeaway number 1. As I just said, the Eagles are no longer a Super Bowl tier team. You can't lose to the Cowboys off a bye week at home on Sunday Night Football and tell me that then I'm supposed to take you guys seriously. I think, and look, this is not a knock on Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz is still having a phenomenal year, despite him coming back from the injury. I just think this team got hungover. The Super Bowl hangover in this team is real, and this team got fat. This team just got fat and on resting on the laurels. They're not the same teams last year. Look, even if the Eagles were gonna come back to the pack a little bit, I didn't think at this point in the year to be 4-5. Okay, I didn't think it'd be 4-5. Like I said before the year started, I said, well, the Eagles won't go 13-3. They're now the target. They're now the hunted. But I think they're still in the NFC East. And now we're over half of the season into the NFL season, 2018 season, and they're still struggling. And Dallas dominated them. I couldn't watch the entire game. I was at work, but every time I turned around, I see Ezekiel Elliott making a play. Every single time. So at some point, you are who you are. At some point, your record is who your record is. And the Eagles, unfortunately, are now, a team now struggling to get into the playoffs. Washington won today. So again, any gains they made on the Redskins in the last couple of weeks, they've lost that now. Tonight. Or last night, whatever. So the Eagles are now out of my Super Bowl tiers. I'll probably go through the Super Bowl tiers this coming week, probably on Tuesday's show. But it's quite shocking. The Eagles came out flat against a Dallas team that just got embarrassed on Monday night to Tennessee. Now, granted, Tennessee came out also beat New England, so I mean, maybe there's a little something there. But my point is, you can't be this flat off a bye week as a Super Bowl champion, trying to prove things. And I'm sitting there saying, "Oh, the Eagles will take over. They'll cover 6 points, and they're gonna get back to the ways of last year." No, I still think it's possible. It's probably possible to win the division because Washington. I don't trust the Redskins to run away with the division in the NFC East. But what I do think is going to happen is I believe that the Eagles are just not. They're not in the Minnesota tier. They're not in the LA Rams, New Orleans Saints tier. They're just not there. And we're now 10 weeks in, and we're closing in on Thanksgiving, and they're still struggling. So the Eagles are now out of my Super Bowl tier. Takeaway number 2: Todd Bowles. If there was any chance Todd Bowles had to save his job, and look, we've been on the Wrestling Podcast, myself, Kyle Nash, everybody, we're making cases about Todd Bowles. Maybe that the reason the Jets have been competitive the last couple of years is because of his coaching. If there was any chance he had to save his job or keep his job, somewhat off the cliff, that went to shit yesterday. Losing to Buffalo, and look, I understand you didn't have Sam Darnold to start. I know. Obviously, Sam Darnold was ruled out on Thursday, but you cannot lose to the Buffalo Bills at home, okay? Who themselves don't have their starting quarterback, right? And get fucking embarrassed. That can't happen. Under no circumstance, you can't come out being down 31-0 at home. That is inexcusable. So Todd Bowles is definitely done. Of every coach right now in the league, going on the hot seat, I would say Todd Bowles 1, Vance Joseph 2, of coaches about to get fired. Todd Bowles 1, Vance Joseph 2. You cannot come out that flat against the Buffalo Bills, and I don't care you didn't have Sam Darnold because they don't have their quarterback. Matt Barkley started today for the Buffalo Bills. You can't do that. That is ridiculous. Todd Bowles is done. Period. End of discussion. Takeaway number 3: the Green Bay Packers and their Super Bowl window. And I know they won today, but this is more a bigger picture analysis here. The Green Bay Packers and their Super Bowl chances, not just this year, but probably the next 2 to 3 years, is probably in jeopardy. If you look at the NFC right now, okay. And look at the Green Bay. First, look at the Packers and what they've done. Now, they got Aaron Rodgers. So, Aaron Rodgers alone equals 8 to 10 wins a year. So, at the very least, for Aaron Rodgers, you're a playoff team or a playoff contender. I would never run off the Packers as a playoff contender. But if you tell me the Packers are a Super Bowl contender, they could beat the Rams or the Saints, hell no. Right now, the Packers, in my opinion, aren't even a top 5-6 team in the NFC. And the only reason they're even relevant to some degree is because of Aaron Rodgers. And their Super Bowl window might be closing faster than they realize. And here's why. Look at the NFC alone. Look at the entire conference. Now, look, the Eagles aren't that. I was having a tough year, but I would still say right now, Philadelphia is better than Green Bay. Like right now, this in a vacuum. You ask me right now, EJ, who's better, Green Bay or Philly? I'll say Philly. Better roster. And he's a quarterback. That's somebody that can somewhat go play to a hilt with Aaron Rodgers. Not saying one's better than Aaron Rodgers, but I think at least they have a quarterback. But they got a better roster than Green Bay, even though they're struggling. Minnesota's better than Green Bay. Better roster. The Bears right now, I think, better than Green Bay. The Bears are ascending too. The Rams obviously are better than Green Bay. The New Orleans Saints obviously better than Green Bay. I would say the Carolina Panthers better than Green Bay. That's 5 or 6. That's 5 or 6 teams that's listed right there. Meanwhile, the Packers are here trading away their. According to the metrics, I don't follow the metrics, but people tell me this. They trade away the second best safety in all of football for what? A 3rd round pick? Really? So yeah, that's why the Packers are done. That's why the Packers are windows probably closing faster than you realize. And you can't trust the front office. You see teams like look at New Orleans and the Rams and the Eagles and all these teams around them. They're aggressive. Drew Brees has a window is here, year to year. As great a year as Drew Brees is having, his window's year to year. He gets hurt, he's done. And the Saints are being very aggressive as a franchise to maximize as much as possible for Drew Brees to win a Super Bowl. This year, for example. We'll get to the Saints in a second. I got a lot of things to say about the Saints right now. The Rams, same thing. They're maximizing what they can now with Jared Goff being on a rookie deal. Eagles, too. You know? Even the Vikings are aggressive, getting Kirk Cousins. You know, the Bears are getting aggressive. Meanwhile, the Packers, yes, they pay Aaron Rodgers because obviously you have to pay Aaron Rodgers because he's the best, most talented quarterback in the history of football. But the rest of the roster? No. The Packers' window is closing faster than you realize. And who's to say Aaron Rodgers will be in the league in 3-4 years? I'm not saying I don't want it to be the case, but he's also hurt all the time. He gets hurt a lot. So, Packers' window shutting fast. Look out for that. Takeaway number 4. Huge win today, or yesterday rather. I keep saying today because technically I haven't gone to sleep yet. Quarters at 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the morning. Huge win today for the Chiefs. Okay? Added with the Patriots loss today, they now got a 2-game lead. And here's why. Again, if the Pats and the Chiefs end up tied, tiebreaker goes to the Patriots by virtue of their head-to-head matchup of week 6 or week 7 earlier in the year, where the Patriots beat the Chiefs by 3 points. And the timing is great for the Chiefs, too, because next week is the big showdown against the Rams. So the Chiefs did their job, number 1. You know, and by the way, that game against the Cardinals, 16-point favorites, they didn't even cover. And I'm glad I didn't pick that game as my best bet. That game was very competitive to the end. But the Chiefs, they get a huge break now. They get a 1-game cushion now over the Patriots, and I think now I'm a lot more convinced that they will likely be the number 1 seed in the AFC for this year's playoffs. My last takeaway here: the Saints are now, in my opinion, the official front runner in the NFC. Okay, I'm not saying that the Rams can't beat them. I'm not saying that, but after watching what the Saints did to the Bengals on Sunday, after watching that blowout against a decent team, since he's a playoff contender, and New Orleans walked into that stadium and beat the living shit out of the Bengals. The game was never close. I am now convinced the Saints are not only the front runner, I think they've now put a little bit of a gap between themselves and the Rams. Okay, not to say the Rams can't win that game when they play in the playoffs, if they play in the playoffs. Not to say that at all. But they beat the Rams already 2 weeks ago. Well, last week, rather. Okay, number 1. And to be fair, they're playing better football than the Rams altogether. The Rams are struggling to win games. Twice against Seattle. I'm not saying Seattle is a bad team, but again, barely beat Seattle yesterday. They're winning games sort of by the skin of their teeth. Barely beat Green Bay 2 weeks ago. You know, so at some point, you know, we're starting to see how these teams are. We're starting to really see how these teams are, who they really are, and whatnot. And to me, the Rams, that's still a great team. And here's one thing no one's talking about also, too. Home field advantage isn't really a big deal for, the Rams doesn't really have one, number 1. If the game's in New Orleans, I'm going to be hard-pressed to see the Rams win that game. And not only that, and Cooper Kupp, the receiver, their third best receiver, second best receiver, is probably out for the year because there's reports that he likely has a torn ACL. The Saints have home field advantage because the Superdome is one of the 3 or 4 best, hardest places to play football. Meanwhile, the Rams, even if the Rams won the number 1 seed in NFC for the playoffs, even if they won the number 1 seed for the playoffs, the Saints could win there because it's likely that stadium will have half Saints fans, half Rams fans. The Rams don't have a home field advantage. They don't. They just don't. LA fans are fickle. Hate to say it. I got a lot of people listening to this podcast who are from Los Angeles. Let's call for what it is. Los Angeles fans, outside Laker fans, are fickle. Period. So that's that. The Saints, to me, not only are the front runner in the NFC, they have now, this week at least, put a gap between themselves and the Rams. Now, that could change next week as the Rams play the Chiefs, who are, in my opinion, the second best team in the league, and maybe we have a different conversation next week. We'll see. I need water, number 1. All right, my playoff 4 for this week. My playoff 4. And I think I'm going to go chalk again. Alabama won, of course. All right, long pause, right? Long pause. Okay, 2, Clemson, obviously. 3, Notre Dame. Beat down my Seminoles this past week. Very, very depressing. The Noles didn't even show up to the game. That's the worst part. They didn't even show up to the game. 4, again, Michigan. Yeah, they beat Rutgers. Who cares? But I will say this about the number 4 spot. And obviously, things will work itself out in the coming weeks. You can make a case for Georgia number 4. Georgia, in my opinion, might have played probably stiffer competition in comparison to Michigan. I just think Michigan's played much better football over the course of the last month and a half, 2 months. Now, Georgia did win a huge game against the Auburn on Saturday, so I'm not going to knock Georgia there at all. The Auburn, while not having really a great year, they were still a top 25 team, and they dominated Auburn pretty much from start to finish. So, but I can make a case of Georgia number 4 as well. That being said, Georgia will be in the SEC title game against Alabama, and they'll probably lose that game. Now, if they win that game, that's a different story. We may have an argument about the 4 teams, but it's likely that Georgia will play Alabama, or they will play Alabama, and they'll lose, and then they'll be out of the playoff run. Meanwhile, Michigan has Ohio State coming up in 2 weeks, so things will work itself out. Things will work itself out in the college football rankings. Oklahoma, like I said, number 6 for me. But God, look, that game against Oklahoma State was really, really, really entertaining. But they are allergic to defense, and they're not going to be able to hang with any of these teams in the top 4 with that defense playing as they did. It's that simple. Certainly not against Alabama or Clemson. That I'll tell you right now. All right. That's my playoff 4. All right. What else I want to talk about here? Oh, yeah. So, report out. Last thing before I go, because I got to go home. We'll leave early in the morning to go to Disney. Just me and the wife. First time since we had the kids that we're going to be out the entire day. So, looking forward to that. Last thing before I go. And again, I apologize for not having the show on Periscope, like I explained earlier on the top of the show. The reason why I don't have the phone case holder to do the show in my car. I can't do it at home because the kids are asleep. So that's that. Carmelo Anthony, reports are he is likely out in Houston. While the Rockets have struggled to start the year, I'm still shocked that it's deteriorated this quick. And I think we might see that. I think it's very possible that we may have seen the last Carmelo Anthony in the NBA. I think. I'm certain there'll be a team put up a flyer on him, but Carmelo Anthony is no longer the same guy. Maybe he plays in China. I don't know. Maybe the Lakers sign him. I doubt it. I can't see LeBron, as good friends they are, I can't see LeBron going on his way to do that. I don't know. But I am a little stunned that if this report's true, that Carmelo Anthony and the Rockets are already giving up. We're not even a month into the year, and already this relationship's deteriorated. It goes to show you, if the reports are true, how far Carmelo Anthony has fallen as a basketball player in this league. Just 3 years ago, he was still a arguable, All-NBA top 3 or 4, maybe third team, fourth team. Now he's barely in the league now, and he's like this guy's on a freaking vet minimum, and still, he's not. This team cannot see the worth of having him on the team. It's very shocking, to be quite honest with you. I'm still shocked, even though Carmelo gets a bad rap and all that. Well, I don't think it's a bad rap. There's a lot of negativity around Carmelo Anthony. I'm still shocked that a guy like Carmelo Anthony cannot find his way to at least be a scorer in a vein where he can just. This is his job, and I don't know. Again, I've not seen a lot of Rockets games here either, too. But the slow start they've had, and by the way, last night they played and they won, and guess what? Carmelo didn't even play, so I don't know. Anyway, I am home now. I'm gonna go get some sleep. We have a early out to Disney. It's me and the wife, and without the kids, which is gonna be fun. First time in 5 years we're doing that. Twitter, EJChristian7. I'll be back on Tuesday. Likely doing a podcast Tuesday or Wednesday. Do this show on Tuesday, so no show tomorrow either. I'm making tomorrow or today rather about me and the missus. So till then, love you guys. Take care. Kisses. And by the way, I'm picking the Giants win tonight as well too. So God bless you guys. Later.